Hello everybody, my name is Zach, aka the Weather Gamer, bringing you the Chicago Charizards Season 7 Delta recap for the, draft recap for the season. So we'll go over the team. I will spoil that there have been some transactions made to this team post-draft, post-week 1 actually. We'll talk about those in the transaction and weekly recap video going into week 1 over on the WWC channel, so check it out there. We ended up with the 4th pick. Obviously, there's been some Ubers allowed. Darkrai, limited to no nasty plot. Genesect has to hold the drive and can't shift gear. Mega Alakazam doesn't get nasty plot. Kieran Black doesn't get Dragon Dance. Zamazin to Crown can't howl or hold anything besides a Rusted Shield. Megalodios is back out of ban. Ashgren's back out of ban. Trying to think what else is running around. I don't know. I'm sure I'll think about it later. But anyways, we ended up with 4th pick, which with Ubers, I was like, maybe I'll get Darkrai. No. Maybe I'll get Kieran Black. No. So what ended up happening is Dragapult fell right into my lap. Sorry about the no face cam, by the way. I am not feeling very good right now, so I am not face camming it because I don't look the greatest either. So it's just gonna be the logo for right now. Anywho, we take Dragapult 4th overall. Everyone knows that this and Cinderace are my new Zero Auras, which was my new Alolan Ninetales. These are ones that I constantly draft. I'm gonna make the Dragapult core work someday. I just have to get it running. I love Dragapult. Super fast, one speed point slower than Zeraora, so right in that speed tier that I love to just power through things. Very diverse move pool, and being able to support both a special, a physical, and a supportive set if you need the supportive set. Multiple great abilities in Infiltrator and Clear Body. Curse Body, when running, a defensive set, can be a thing as well. There's the Sub-Willow Hex set, there's the Specs set, there's Scarf sets if you're trying to outdo opposing weather. Dragon Dance, obviously, Sub-Dragon Dance, Dual Stab. Somebody had mentioned a Power Herb Acrobatics set to me, which is something I might have to look into. It can run mixed sets with fire coverage for opposing steel types. It's a really good mon. It's really hard, really strong, and I've enjoyed using it. I think it's 2nd or 3rd all time on my kill leaderboard, only behind Zeraora and probably Cinderace at this point, because Cinderace has popped off. But yeah, going into round 2, I was going to get Cinderace, because how many times have I taken either Dragapult, Garchomp, or insert Dragon type here round 1, and then picked up Cinderace round 2 or 3, and Thriller decided to snipe me, because he wanted Cinderace, even though we had talked about how I was using WWC to hopefully put together this core for the final time, and see if it couldn't get me a chip, because I was right there, and he sniped it on me. So I ended up going into Corviknight here to give me a Fairy Dragon Steel Core start. Corviknight, another mon that I've really enjoyed. I prefer it of all the flying steel types. Doesn't give me as passive of a steel type. That's one thing, like, when I retired briefly, I learned to play more bulky offense, but I've, again, kind of transitioned to a mix of hyper and bulky offense. And Corviknight's one of those mons that fits that transition, where it can be bulky when I need it to be bulky, and it can be very offensive when I need it to be offensive. It's good support in Defog and Tailwind, obviously. It can U-turn to pivot around, so it can Dragapult. There's the bulk up sets, there's the Iron Defense Body Press, it's got Iron Head and Brave Bird, obviously. So it can function offensively, it can function defensively. Pressure is great for opposing stall teams. Mirror Armor is great for bouncing back Intimidates against Dragapult. So it's a good mon. I really hope that I can get it rolling again. It seems like Corviknight is pretty meh for most of the season for me, and then I have like 2 or 3 games where Corviknight just goes, "Hi, I'm here." So we'll see if that can pick it up. But yeah, Tapu Lele fell to me on the round 3. I know I sniped Penguin on this. I was really debating between Lele and Primarina, and I know if I'd taken Primarina, a lot of people would be pointing to the core that I've been trying to build, and you can see it. You can see the core. It's Dragapult, Steel type, Cinderace, Fairy type, trying to just work the speed tiers and power it down. I don't know why I never thought to put Lele and Pult together, because they pair so nicely. Pult's gonna blast out the Lele's going to blast out the dark and fighting types that Pult may have a little bit of trouble with. Corviknight takes out the fairy types. But Lele gives Psychic Terrain, which means Pult can't be hit by Ice Shard or Sucker Punch, which takes a little bit of the guesswork out of the subsets. I don't necessarily have to run sub Dragon Dance plus 2 attack anymore. I can run just straight Dragon Dance. Potentially force my opponents to... it's going to force my opponents to attack in if I have Terrain up, because they won't be able to Sucker Punch or Ice Shard Revenge me. Which means once Dragapult goes +1, it can become very, very dangerous. Yes, my team is very Ghost and Dark weak at this point, with both Lele and Pult being weak to Ghost, and Pult and Lele being... Pult being weak to Dark and Lele being neutral to it because of the Fairy typing. That is a bit of a problem that I'll have to solve later. Speed tier wise, Lele 95, so Pult down to Lele down to Corviknight. I'll fill in those gaps. But I was really, really surprised that Lele came all the way to round 3 for me, and that I've never paired Pult and Lele together. I did learn though, Pult gets Sucker Punch, so that will kind of mess me up just a little bit. I won't be able to Sucker Punch with Pult, but I've also, never used Sucker Punch on Pult because I didn't know I got Sucker Punch. Something I should know. Anyways. Round 4. Speaking of those Ghost type issues, I go ahead and grab Umbreon. So Lele, Umbreon, Pult is a good Ghost Dragon Fairy core, Ghost Dragon Psychic core, because they cover each other. Lele will blast out fighting types for Umbreon. Umbreon's going to blast out the Ghost types for Pult and Lele. And... yeah, that's really... Pult will blast out Psychic types, I guess. I don't know. The Dark Ghost Fairy core is a weird one, but this also gives me Wish Pass. This gives me a pretty fat physical or special defensive Mon. Umbreon is one of those that if you build it correctly, it can tank almost any hit. And then pass a Wish. It is extremely passive for a Dark type. I would like to get another Dark type later in the draft with a little more offensive capability in case I need to break something down with physical or with offensive Dark moves. But I also don't have knockoff, which kind of sucks. But it's okay. It's too bad they didn't give Umbreon knockoff. But yeah, fat Dark type that can Wish Pass, sponge some hits. Clear out those opposing Ghost types for Pult and Lele. Into round 5, I take Infernape for some speed tier growth. Infernape is a great mon in the fact that it can run both physical and special sets. That's what I was trying to get at, because you have Swords Dance set up, you have Nasty Plot set up, you have Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave on either side. I believe it gets... I know it gets Fake Out. I'm not sure if it gets Bullet Punch for priority on the physical side. It's got the Elemental Punches. I don't remember what exactly all its special coverage is. It's been a while since I looked at Infernape, because it's been a while since I drafted it. But it does just kind of set up potentially. It's a fantastic Scarfer. It's a fantastic Bander, Specs user, Life Orb user. Blaze is very good on special sets. Iron Fist on physical sets, obviously. 108 speed tier. Special attack and attack are exactly the same. Has coverage in Gunk Shot and Grass Knot, Stone Edge, Rock Slide, U-Turn to pivot, which, again, everything but Lily and Umbreon can pivot. It gets Grass Knot for water types on the special side. Has Calm Mind, so I could set up Calm Minds as well. Earthquake, Focus Blast. I'm looking through the move pool right now. Shadow Claw. Stealth Rocks, obviously, but it doesn't want to do that a ton. Work Up, so it can for mixed sets. So Infernape has a lot of flexibility. I have used Infernape, I think, 4 times in the past now, 3 or 4 times in the past, and it is in my top 25. I know that. I think Cinderace, Darm, and Charizard X might be ahead of it. Maybe not Darm. It might be, but Monkey Flip, Infernape. This will break down those dark types that Lele doesn't necessarily want to deal with completely, but Infernape can definitely break them down. I'd hope if I was in the right tab. There we go. I get Araquanid. So this is one thing that I've really wanted, is a good web setter on my Dragapult teams, because webs takes the Revenge Scarfers out of the point. It also slows down the mons that are naturally faster than Zeraora. While there's only a few of them, it's still really nice because only Mega Arrow and Ninjask are faster than Araquanid, barring a Boots user, or Dragapult barring a Boots user. I think Araquanid's the best Sticky Web user in my opinion, Vikavolt being second. I don't like Galvantula. I don't like... Ribombee is just not reliable, and it takes up my fairy slot, so even though I use Ribombee a lot, I don't know. It gives me a massive Spadef Wall to pair with Umbreon and Corviknight, giving me a nice defensive backbone to this team. It allows Corviknight to function as a little more physical or offensive threat if need be, or Araquanid can as well. Water Bubbles, so no Will-O-Wisping Dragapult, which is great because neither Dragapult nor Corviknight really appreciate Will-O-Wisps to them. So this will help kind of absorb some of those Will-O-Wisp statuses. And then Water Bubble just makes Liquidation hit stupidly strong. So there is Mirror Coat for Volt Switchers to potentially get beat down by a Mirror Coat hit. There's Magic Coat, obviously, to... Hey! Francis! Enough. Enough, child. Hush up. Come sit with me. Hush up. What was I saying? Oh, there is also the Duncan set, you know, the Sub-Toxic Infestation Soak, or not Sub. The Infestation Soak Toxic Protect set. So, but that's not gonna happen. Anyways, moving on from Araquanid here. I have a very angry child in my arms right now. We get Nidoqueen really late in the draft for Nidoqueen to be sitting there. I was super surprised that it was here all the way in round 7. Gives me T-Spikes, base 70 speed stat, 76 speed stat actually. Sheer Force, obviously. Choice Scarf, kind of a bulkier poison type too, if need be. A lot of great coverage being a Gen 1 mon. Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. Not sure if it gets Surf or not. I can't remember if the Nidos have Surf. I don't think they do. They might be crazy. I might not be crazy. Anyways. But yeah, T-Spikes, Stealth Rocks, which to this point, Infernape was my only rocker. Good Scarfer, good Specs user. Obviously Black Sludge for bulky ones. Assault Vest potential as well. Just all in all, it gives me a good poison and a ground type that I've never used before. Superior in the next round, so this gets me above Infernape a little bit more for speed at 113. Still have that massive gap between Pult and Serp. Gives me another Defogger, because to this point, Corviknight was the only Defogger. Yes, I know Serp has been neutered without hidden power, but I am not terribly concerned about that. I've made Serp work in Gen 8 prior to this. Obviously the Glare, Leech Seed set, there's Defog, there's Taunt. I think you can set Light Screen. It might be Reflect, I'm not sure. I know it gets one of the screens, I can't remember which. Obviously Contrary with Leaf Storm, if it can get rolling, it can sweep on its own as a Scarfer or a Spexter. It does have some coverage in Dragon Pulse and knockoff support for Umbreon. Since Umbreon doesn't have knockoff, I could knock off the Serp potentially. It's anti-Sticky Webs too, because Contrary, do you really want to give a speed boost to Serp? It's anti-Defog because you have Serp an evasion boost. And funnily enough, so my top drafted Mon of all time is Zero Aura at 10. With Chandelure and Alolan Ninetales following up at 8 drafts apiece. Yes, Cinderace is starting to catch that, and so is Dragapult now. But funnily enough, Superior has been drafted 9 times now. It might actually be 10. I might, because spoilers or potentially unspoilers, VBL, I also have Superior. So I'm not sure, I'd have to check the record, but it might be that I've drafted Superior as many times as I've drafted Zero Aura, which nobody seems to have noticed. But I used to draft Sturf a lot early in my career, now I'm starting to get back into it again. So, yeah, just a funny anecdote there. Speaking of Mons, I got neutered by Gen 8 and losing Hidden Power. I do pick up Mega Mane. This does give me a speed drop down, Dragapult down to Mega Mane, down to Serp is not terrible. I wish I had something in the base 120s, but, you know, my team is already super fast as is. Gives me Intimidate support. Before it Megas, it gives me an Electric immunity besides Nidoqueen. It's not a terrible mod, as much as people think it is. For 6 points, it's a nice, fast budget Electric type, which people know I like my fast budget Electric type, or my fast Electric types. Intimidate is great because I now have a way to bounce Intimidate back with Corviknight, and I can also Intimidate for myself to help Dragapult. I can Volt Switch around into Dragapult. Yes, it loses coverage, but it does still have Snarl and Overheat, which can hit pretty hard. It does, you know, have Toxic if need be. It is a one-trick pony. It is very much a one-trick pony, but I don't have to worry about water types now because both Serp and Mane handle water types very, very well. But by no means is my saying Mega Mane is the best electric type in the format. It's just here to provide some speed and kind of do its thing. You know, Thunderbolt, Overheat, and Volt Switch around. Opposing ground types are going to stop my momentum, but I can get around them with Serp. So the Serp and Mane form a nice electric grass combo, which is something that I've learned recently. I really need to have a good way of dealing with waters, bulky waters, and ground types in general, because most of my teams lately have not been able to do that. I draft Honchkrow. This is basically so I get to 10 Mons. I have 2 more picks, and then I save 2 points post-draft for potential transactions, but this was to get me to the Mon limit of 10, since we are not 9 anymore, it's 10 to 12. I draft Dirty Bird. If you don't know what I mean by Dirty Bird, Scope Lens Super Luck is dirty. I won a game because I got 7 out of 8 crits in a row with Honchkrow and just really made somebody salty because I kept critting them. Gives me another defog, gives me a more offensive dark type. Does have Nasty Plot for special setup. I don't believe it has Swords Dance, but it's Dirty Bird. It's not going to come maybe more than one game this season. It's just there to get me to the mon limit, give me an option for defog, give me an option for an offensive dark type if need be. And then I was missing the rock and ice type, so I'm guessing everybody can guess that. I take Auroras here, another cheap 4-point mon to give me another Stealth Rocker, gives me Veil. Obviously the hail damage is not the greatest, but Specs Refrigerate hits really hard. It can be a cheeky Scarfer because some people don't expect it as a Scarfer, so... But I do finish my draft with Auroras, so that's going to be the team for now. Let me know what you guys think down below. This isn't shortened to 8-week season, so do you think I'm going to get pulled to the kill leaderboard, or, you know, what do you think of the team overall? So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.